A gas station attendant is filling up a car when suddenly there's a fierce pounding noise coming from the trunk. He suspects the driver has a kidnapping victim in the trunk, but the driver turns up the music in the car, trying to drown out the noise. Although puzzled, the young attendant doesn't ask any further questions. Soon after, the fully fueled car drives deep into the mountains. The driver skillfully digs a hole and then opens the trunk, but the person tied up inside suddenly starts fighting back and runs away from the driver like a madman. The driver just stands there, watching her run deep into the forest. The woman escapes into a neighborhood, climbing over a railing, the driver in hot pursuit behind her. The woman screams at the top of her lungs, hoping the people living there will discover her. At the same time, a resident has just gotten home from work, exhausted, and sits down on the couch. He doesn't turn on the lights. Suddenly, he thinks he hears something, like someone crying for help. He gets up, walks to the balcony and looks out. A strange man is grabbing a woman's hair and assaulting her. The man is terrified and gets ready to take out his phone to call the police. But just then, the living room lights suddenly turn on. He turns his head and realizes it was his wife who turned on the living room lights. He hurriedly leaps over the sofa and immediately turns off the lights. To his surprise, the killer still saw him. The man hides behind a potted plant, carefully observing, and happens to see the evil killer. The killer stares for a moment before leaving, but after walking a few steps, he suddenly stops, counts the number of floors, then turns back and walks straight towards the witness's building. The man inside the house is very worried about the killer's revenge. He hurriedly grabs a bat and locks the door, guarding his family's safety at the entrance. After an agonizing 2-hour wait, there's still no movement outside. He grows increasingly uneasy. The next day, the police cordon off the murder scene and search for eyewitnesses. The police chief scans the area, seeing residents gathered all around with a murder happening in the center of the neighborhood. Someone must have seen something. The witness's heart is very uneasy. He can't forget the killer's eyes and he's constantly on edge, worried about his family. Later, the police go door to door, but the neighbors all say they didn't see the murder. Only one middle school student says they heard a scream late at night. The police are about to question the student, but the girl's mother rushes over, urging the girl to leave. The police are helpless as the clue is broken once again. The witness has just returned home when he's startled by a community worker. The person has come to deliver a notice because the dead woman was not a resident of the neighborhood. The community requires residents not to make a fuss to avoid negatively impacting the community's housing prices. At night, the man can't sleep for a long time. He composes an anonymous email to the police, but he's very conflicted, afraid the murderer will come to retaliate. So if you were this man, would you step forward and provide clues to the police? This exciting Korean movie is called The Witness.